All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. My name is Catherine Gou. I'm the head of product for digital assets at Solana Foundation. I'm here today with Andre from Range. Andre, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Catherine. For the ones that don't know me, I'm Andres, co-founder and CEO at Range.
Yeah, maybe tell us a little bit about Range. How long have you guys been around, and also what are you doing specifically?
Yeah, so Range, we started in 2022. We are based in Switzerland, but a global team with a heavy US presence. And basically, Range is a treasury and risk platform for stablecoins and digital assets. So we help companies such as Binance, Circle, and also some of the largest banks in the world integrate the stablecoins safely and at the scale. Our risk infrastructure also powers some of the most innovative startups in Solana and beyond. So companies such as Squads, Jupiter, Camino, and many others. So to give you as well a bit deeper in the product, so we have two main arms or solutions. One is the treasury side. So we help companies unify their digital assets and a stablecoin exposure, both for the treasury and also customer deposits, and acting as a risk and control layer. On that front, we work as well with asset issuers, such as stablecoin issuers, helping them understand and manage risk on the assets they're put on chain with our asset intelligence solution, which maps very cleanly with the issuance capabilities of the SDP that we might chat later. And the other key element of our platform is our risk and payment infrastructure. Our transaction APIs help companies on the compliance side, providing real-time sanctions and compliant checks pre-transaction. We also offer more advanced kind of like risk and fraud solutions for Solana payments and transactions, basically simulating the outcome of transactions in real time and trying to minimize both fraud but also human operational errors. And to give you an example of, like our footprint in Solana, Squads is the absolute leader, of course, in non-custodial stablecoin operations in Solana. Every Squads transactions would run a pre-transaction simulation on the background to keep their users safe. And all that is powered by Range.
That's really cool. And yeah, we should definitely dig into a little bit around that, and also just in the context for SDP, because in your joint announcement with us, you also mentioned about Range building Explorer.money, which is this real-time stablecoin explorer. So maybe just tell us a little bit more in terms of exactly what does that real-time experience look like, and how do you then help therefore to provide the visibility that enterprises need when they're building on SDP?
Yeah, I mean, let's to break it down into two, like Explorer.money. You can think of it as an stablecoin explorer, and for us, this is a free-to-use public good tool. You can use, you can access it at Explorer.money, and basically tracks all the stablecoin payments happening in the industry in real time. We also displayed relevant stablecoin entities, blacklist information, and different flows. And Explorer.money, first and foremost, is about education and awareness. With it, like we help companies and financial institutions that are maybe earlier in their sort of like digital assets and stablecoin life cycle really understand what's out there, right? Like how are stablecoins and stablecoin payments flows really happening and used in practice, and where the activity is happening. So it's really about education and about helping folks get to speed. Explorer.money is also used by sort of like more sophisticated users, developer teams, exchanges, that to have a more of a unified stablecoin view on their activity. For example, let's say that you are a centralized exchange and you want to have a real-time monitoring on all the inflows of stablecoins in your platform. You can use the Explorer for that. And beyond the Explorer, that I said, so it's free and everyone can use it. Like we offer data and analytics APIs for stablecoins on top of that some of our customers also use.
Got it. And maybe let's just dig in a little bit more just into this sense of real time, because I want to understand if you can quantify how real time is real time, especially as you mentioned earlier, that, for example, like Squad, right? When before they run an actual transaction, they do the simulation. What is that back and forth, like the general time it would actually take? Because just curious on that user experience, what does that look like?
Yeah, I mean, a big element of risk and security is also UX, right? Like you don't want to make risk, compliance, and security checks be a problem UX wise, because if not, users are forced to not do that, right?
Right.
So when we talk about real time, our goal is always be on par with the block times of the networks that we operate in, right? So in Solana, like fast block times, we try to be in the order of 300 milliseconds, but also depends on the workflow, right? Like for payments, for example, we need to be extremely fast, right? So the checks, the risk and compliance checks feel that they happen in the background and don't affect at all the user experience, while providing this sort of like wall rails, both on the risk and compliance side. On the other hand, if let's say you are onboarding a user, kind of like more of a address risk counterparty screening, these are flows that are not necessarily requirement to be real time. So we can also provide like a longer and more comprehensive checks on assets, on addresses, where there is not sort of like that limitation. But like, yeah, for payments and for transactions, we want to be on par with Solana blocks, so it feels that there is invisible middleware that's happening in the background.
Fantastic. And maybe let's tap into a little bit on the features within SDP, because as you know, on Solana Developer Platform, the way that we are looking at all of these issuance of tokenization for real world assets, we leverage what we call token extension, or token 22, as the token program to support all the enterprises, just because of the fact that we know, having regulated, compliant issuance is super important. So we want to, make sure that's being embedded from day one. And there's many different extensions, starting from KYC to, metadata or like memo fields and stuff like that. That's all kind of being provisioned directly for clients to use inside SDP. Now, I think with that in mind, I'm curious to know, how does, Range, as you're doing your own compliance monitoring activities, how do you then leverage effectively the token extension program itself, and to work in sync with us to help to provide that good experience and good features for enterprise to use?
Yeah, we've been long supporters of token 2022 and token extensions in Solana. A bit of a trivia fact. We were the first sort of building disclosures and compliance mechanisms for confidential transfers, the token extension. And we actually, and this is a bit of a sort of like a Solana trivia, but we were the first confidential transfer stablecoin payment in the whole history of Solana using token extension.
Amazing.
So, token extension is capabilities that we've always found super exciting, and we've been always kind of tinkering with what's possible. In relation to SDP, all our APIs like have full token 2022 support. So to do token risk assessment, to do address risk scoring, transaction simulation, sanctions screening, all of them have like full support for token extensions and token 2022. One element that is super exciting for us as well is like native transfer hook integrations, right? Like the idea is that like we want to support and have like our systems, our APIs natively embedded into transfer hooks, using as well sort of attestation-based patterns with transfer hooks. So like you can have and deliver on the promise of having transactions and assets that have a compliance and risk checks enable natively into the sort of like programmability of the asset. And that's something that we've also been experimenting and exploring. And all our APIs, specifically like address risk score, can be fully embedded in a transfer hook flow. So then you don't need to worry about like calling third-party APIs and have like kind of like off-chain mechanisms, and everything is baked into sort of like the programmability of the assets, which we think is super exciting for institutional adoption of Solana assets.
That's super cool. Yeah, having the really deep native integration is super important, because I think this will really make the difference when it comes to the final user experience and the usability, right? As people are building more custom type of tokens on chain. I guess my last question kind of goes back to, I know you guys have been a long sort of but participant and also like a very valuable developer on the Solana developer ecosystem. Why build on Solana, right? And especially, I think, as you probably have come across, I would say sometimes the misconception from institution be like, if I want to have compliance and privacy, I gotta do it on a private permission chain. But since you guys are building every single bit on Solana right from the start, you have a much better vantage point view of Solana being that public permissionless chain, but still, able to cater for the compliance and privacy needs. So maybe talk to us about how you see that being available today, and what does that look like down the road?
Yeah, I mean, as you said, like we've been sort of a strong supporters of Solana for a long time. I think from a personal standpoint, we just love the energy of the builder ecosystem in Solana. Like compared to other ecosystems, I don't want to name names, but Solana teams are extremely pragmatic and really laser focused on building actual use cases for crypto and stable coins. I guess also like on the personal side, our team has a strong sort of Rust background. Before starting Range in 2022, I was myself and a smart contract security auditor focused on Rust smart contracts. So like Rust and sort of the whole developer ecosystem in Solana is just very close to our company DNA. So we enjoy the technical challenges around Solana, and also like we're well positioned to help companies tackle them. I think from a business standpoint, like building in Solana today is just super strategic. The two main KPIs that we see, like to understand what's our addressable market as a company, is how many companies are building an ecosystem and how much transaction activities performed by them. And Solana is a leader in both year-over-year growth and also user activities. So it's just, strategically speaking, is a super important market for us. I think for everyone sort of like building with crypto and digital assets. I think as well, like in the last 12 months, we've seen Solana becoming sort of a natural place for enterprises and institutions building on chain. So this also creates a great opportunity, for Range to help these companies come on chain safely and at scale. We are, big proponents as well that like you can bring privacy into public blockchains, which is where the liquidity and the users already are, right? And we think of privacy as an spectrum, right? Like I think we need to approach privacy like with being a very pragmatic mindset, and I think like the token extensions capabilities in Solana are very good at sort of having like a gray scale and a spectrum of what privacy means for you, right? Like privacy can be, full privacy, can be like confidentiality in terms of recipients, in terms of amounts. And I think what institutions and financial institutions really need is privacy that is also useful and pragmatic. So it's not a black box, but has the certain levels of privacy and confidentiality, but also has disclosure mechanisms, has the required compliance and risk checks to be able to actually bring this to the world. And we are extremely excited to be a part of making this a reality in Solana.
That's fantastic, and it's really well put. So, Andres, thank you so much for being on this podcast with me. We very much look forward to build out more enterprise-grade infrastructures together with you guys. So, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and extremely excited about the SDP. We think like making it easier for institutions and enterprises to adopt Solana it's amazing. So, extremely excited to be part of that. Thank you, Catherine.